Hi everyone, hello. Welcome. Welcome to our brand new call. Welcome to our 13th AVC subcommittee meeting. Thank you for being early. I see Jack. Our team is also here and on Builder. We have our 80s, Penguin Soldier Blue. Thank you for coming, both Wizard, Palk, Bonapolica, um, and yes, the AVC Sovereign Finance team, Marian, Pedro, hello. So we're going to start. First of all, thank you for being here on a Monday. I know we're used to having our calls Thursday just for this week, which changed it. And we appreciate the fact that you're here in time. So let's get started. So today's topic, this week is support scope. And just before starting, talking about our proposals and what we're going to discuss today, as always, we have these reminders that if it's your first call, thank you for being here. And we're going to share with you all the links that are necessary to understand what we're doing, understand the things that we're focusing on. Our proposals and everything is just in one click, is in the Notion. So we are going to share that link with you. And of course, if you already know about us, thank you for coming again. And you can delegate your MKRs to one of our ADs that are also here. Shout out to Paul, to Clucky, to Blue, Winsolder, to Jack. Thank you. And this is what we're going to be covering today. We are going to start with a brief recap of our proposals that are focusing on this scope, that are focusing on the support scope. Also, as we mentioned last call, today we're going to talk about the DAO toolkit, the MIP 100 seed component 3. We have some proposals that are involved in this section. Besides that, we are going to bring here the topic from Layer Service proposal that it involves fund, lawyer registry, and legal research processes. We have kind of like questions. We would like to know your insights on this. So please, last call we had an amazing participation from all of you, and we are expecting that as well today. Um, and of course, we have rules and clockies amendments proposals that is going on live today. So of course, we have to also mention this. And of course, if any of our IDs want to comment something, want to share something with us, like a presentation or just the feedback or just on the chat, you are very welcome to do so. And so as you can see, today is going to be a very interesting call. Let's get it started right away. Okay, let me see if we have something in the chat. What's your name? Good to see you. So, just in time. This is like I said before, we're going to mention just a brief recap that are focusing on this scope. So basically the governance process definition that are the fact that the criteria for facilitators to support the most valuable LVCs for governance security. So in here we have the incubation proposal submission process. And this refers to guidelines and procedures for submitting proposals to support the incubation of new projects, ideas, or initiatives. Also, the emergency defense request. And this component outlines a process for quickly approving and providing funding for legal defense and respond to legal or regulatory actions taken against Maker. And this is a mechanism to ensure that Maker can respond effectively to legal challenges. Um, we're going to see that further in just a couple of minutes. And okay, focusing now on the DAO toolkit, especially on the Me 106 component 3 DAO toolkit core development. Of course, just to put it in some context, the DAO toolkit is it's a set of tools and features that outlines a specific functionalities and specific features related to the we're focusing on AVC recognition and management. So these offer tools for streamlined recognition and management of AVCs and AVC's members. Um, and the toolkit aims to enhance the user experience and efficiency in different aspects of the AVCs. So in here, what we have we're proposing is um, first the AVC recognition submission tool, which is an online form designed to facilitate a submission of requests by both AVCs and AVC members who wish to join the Maker ecosystem. And this tool includes several features. We have automated Ethereum address verification. Um, so this tool automatically verifies the user's Ethereum address in order to confirm that they hold the required amount of MKR tokens. That's one. Then the cryptography signature generation. So in here, users have the option to create a cryptographic signature for the AVC member recognition message. Of course, using their wallet. Also, we're adding here the form integration. Well, basically, the tool integrates with the Maker forum, allowing for the creation of a forum post with the submitted information. Then we have the AVC dashboard. So this is dedicated dashboard providing different features and insights that are related to AVCs and their members. Um, and well, as you can see, this dashboard includes members' profiles, displaying profiles of AVC members, along with let's say like a brief description or details. Um, we have also a subcommittee meeting list. So this would provide information about all the subcommittee meetings held per quarter, and this includes details like summaries, attendance, like recordings, and we already do that in the forum. But of course, we think that this is going to be better and easily to find information in just one place. So that's why we're adding here as well. We have the next part. I see that people are typing. Anamidor says, Water from Powerhouse is seeking feedback on creating the AVC module for the toolkit. We're already brainstorming and got these ideas, but if you have any suggestions, we'd love to hear them. That's right. So we kind of like, we had amazing guests this past calls. So we are adding all the relevant information and all the that we think that it's going to improve our proposal. So everything that it's for us relevant, we added in the ideas that we are proposing, suggesting. So yes, thank you for bringing that up, Alan Builder. In this part, well, it outlines the features and functionalities of the AVC action tools, let's say, and This is designed in order to assist and facilitate different actions and processes that are related to the ABCs within the context of a larger system or platform. So it's like a range of features that assist in managing different aspects of ABCs. Let's say decision making, let's say communication, transparency, documentation of their activities, of our activities. um so here it's would be involve the update ABC logo. So of course this feature allows the ability to change, to modify the logo associated with the ABC. Also, declare um, declare conflict of interests. So this provides a mechanism for individuals within the ABC to openly declare any potential conflicts of interest they might have. And for us, this is important since this promotes transparency and ethical behavior. We're adding here the meeting schedule, since we find that this helps organizing and schedule meetings for the ABCs. Like, for example, now that we have changed just for today the date. Um, so in order to ensure effective communication and collaboration as well. Also create ABC formal decisions. So this offers the option to generate, to publish formal decisions made by the ABC. So this is relevant. This is important for us because this helps document. This helps communicate the committee's choice and actions. Um, Also, internal voting system. So this feature um, enables members of the ABC to cast votes on a specific issues, specific decisions, and also this promotes participation, um, and let's say collective decision making. And here also there is the AD removal request. So this provides a means for requesting the removal of an AD based on the decision made by the ABC. We want to know your insights on this. Um, Also submit the strategy position documents um, in order to offer a platform for submitting, for sharing important strategy or position documents that are related to the ABC's activities. Um, Subcommittee meeting tools. Um, we are adding as well the this feature that marks the meeting as completed. So this allows the organizers to indicate when a subcommittee meeting has concluded, and a summary and recording uploads. So this will provide the ability to upload meetings summaries, let's say, and of course the best way would be that everyone could listen the whole call, but just in some specific occasions when it's impossible to attend, so they have like a summary in order to point out the most relevant information that has been shared in the meeting. And the attendance form, so this facilitates the tracking of attendance for subcommittee meetings. So this is some of the tools for that involve the ABC. I see that Pedro is writing. Type in there. Oh yeah, please, if you have any comment before moving to the next topic, we would like to have your insights. What do you think about this? So Pedro says when requested to us, we're going to have another meeting with Powerhouse to discuss which the best tools for ABCs are. Kianga would be awesome if you could join us with Space X to bring refi ideas too. Yes, so we're having a meeting with Powerhouse, and that's why again we encourage all of you to kind of like share your ideas here, since they are the ones that can actually build this, but of course they need our suggestions since we are the ABCs, we are members of the ABCs, so it's important that we have what we want to see in order for us to make us easier to know what's going on with other ABCs, what the communication, the transparency. So this is the moment to suggest ideas. Okay, so let's go to the next part. Oh, by the way, good to see you, Kianga. I don't know if you want to add something. She is writing. You have the microphone as well. Before moving on to the next part, I know there's something that Kianga wants to share with us. Cool. So Kianga says that Powerhouse is going to be joining us tomorrow. So we are going to join you to like know more about this. So it will be cool if you could also kind of like let them know what we're doing is. Thank you, Kianga. Gonna be eager to know more about this. Okay. So we are going to discuss a little bit about layer service proposal, which involves resilience fund, involves lawyer registry and legal reserve processes. And of course, basically this component 10, which is the resilience fund. Um, so overall, this discusses the idea of utilizing the resilience fund to finance legal defense expenses for maker during hard times, during times of um, legal or regulatory challenges, and these while also emphasizing the need for clear procedures, for protocols in order to ensure effective management um, and actions. Well, I mean the effective management of these funds. And the proposal suggests adding a new feature or aspects to the residence fund, which is there is the transition fund for DAO legal defense, and this suggests that the residence fund could be used to temporarily finance legal defense expenses directly related to maker. So in other words, if the DAO is faced with legal or regulatory actions, the resilience fund could provide funding to cover these costs of legal defense. However, the proposal acknowledged the need for a separate and let's quote claim protocol and a standard operational procedure in order to be developed specifically for situations where the DAO becomes a target of legal or regulatory action. And not only that, but additionally, the proposal mentions that the Resilience Technical Committee will play a role in defining the rules and processes that are associated with this proposed addition. This in order to help to elaborate on how the transition funding for legal defense will be implemented and managed within the resilience fund. Okay, let me see. I think we have some comments. Okay. Okay, so in this part, so there are quotes. Let me read it. So layer zero in the post says, we have included a transition and funder article whereby DAO legal defense expenses could be interim funded using RF resources, still a separate risk assessment, claim protocol, and SOPs used for DAO ecosystem legal defense must be developed. Okay, and so this proposal, it's in order to involve the um, resilience technical committee's role from primary advisory to more, let's say, hands-on operational support in the maker ecosystem. So the committee's responsibilities would expand to include tasks related to beneficiary onboarding, claims assessment, fund development, and risk management discussions. So this is the current. It's a group of ecosystem actors that provide advice on assessing claims against the resilience fund and funding on further development of the fund and risk management topics. And the proposal would be group of ecosystem actors authorized by MakerDAO to provide operational support, such as onboarding new beneficiaries to the RF, approving quotes, assessing claims to be supported by the RF, and additionally providing general advice on the further development of amendments to the claim procedure, resilience measures, and other risk management topics. So we're adding this since we find that this proposal it's very complete, it's very detailed. There's even templates about this, and so just to point out that this is not going to be right now that gonna have like a voting on this. They're just asking feedback in order for this to be incorporated next month. So that's why we're decided to put this about bring this to the table in order for know your insights on this. Okay. Then there is the modification that extends the requirement for its members. So we have the new requirements. Members must have experience equivalent to and or currently working for a world-leading insurance broker, insurance company, risk management company, or legal role. So we're being they're being very specific. It says at least there are 3 years of experience in the management of self-insurance instrument or experience in any legal or regulatory risk analysis, must not be involved in any business activity outside MakerDAO or in any role within MakerDAO that could result in a conflict of interest, either directly or indirectly, must have at least 3 years of working experience in the cryptocurrency, DeFi, Web3, or emerging technology sectors. I don't know if anyone wants to share their insights into these. For us, this is kind of like very complete. Um, Although, let's ask our 80s that has any comment on this. Probably also agree on this is pretty well done. Okay, here we have the comment for navigator. Just let's see if it's here. Requiring that members of the resilience technical committee must fulfill all of the requirements set out, including 3 years of working experience in crypto or similar sector, 3 years in management of self-insurance instruments, and experience working for a world-leading insurance broker company legal role seems wishful. We do not think there would be many willing applicants that fit into the middle of that particular Venn diagram. Should these requirements not be loosened, or can the language be changed? Aside from the conflict of interest requirement, obviously. So we're bringing this question. We would like the answers or the insights of our 80s. What do you think about the current proposal requirements? So to our delegates, to our line delegates that are here, what do you think about this? So Talk, Blue, Penguin Soldier, Jag. What do you think about the current proposal requirements? So we see the Palk is let's see the Blue Penguin Soldier are also typing. Blue says we would prefer proven skills through commitment of work over revealing credentials. Nice insight. Okay. What about the Dell toolkit? Do you have any insights, Blue, about this? Or, feedback as well? And of course, actually, every ecosystem actors could also share their insights or feedbacks. They're very welcome. Lou says we're also working with Powerhouse on explainer video. Oh, that's so cool. They say we're still not sure what parts will go into the toolkit and which will not. Okay. Would like to know more about the video, the explainer video. When is it going to be uploaded? Um, good to have you here, Cycroton. Feedback is best served in the MVP phase. Yes, that's why please, any type of inside feedback, it's very important to us. Blue says we will deliver a today animated video. That's great. Um, Blue, oh no, Paul says it's delicate. You need to guarantee that the committee is well experienced. Yeah, that's true. Paul also says I would start with a high standard requirement and then adapt if no candidates arise. Do you think these, let me put it here, is a high standard requirement, or it should be even more? It says kids video will be done this week. Jet stream in next in line, then powerhouse. Well, thank you for that information, Blue. Thank you. Ingleterrier says, what does everyone think about a demo live presentation for everyone to go better or understand their experience and skills? Perhaps coming up with a list of test questions or topics to elaborate on. That would actually be really helpful in order to know the experience of the candidates. Um, but we could, I mean, yes, probably this could be added as well to actually choose the best candidates, but in order to choose the best candidates, also to be very aware of what are we asking for. Um, thank you for your answers to all our um contributors, ADs, ecosystem actors that are participating. Okay, so then we have the modifications. This stands the concept of love's event. So this is the current definition. The resilience process covers legal defense or legal representation expenses incurred by a participant of the maker ecosystem when they are the target of a legal or regulatory action. And the proposal is the resilience process covers legal defense or legal representation expenses incurred by a participant of the maker ecosystem when they are the defendant or respondent in a legal or regulatory action. So this is the proposal. Um, the current beneficiary for the previous structure, it was recognized recognized delegates, core unions facilitators, core unions contributors, and proposal it's DAI Foundation board members. So this is the when it comes to the fund policy and claims process. Not only that, but also the current beneficiary for the current structure. So active MKR or subDAO token holders that participate regularly in governance, let's say by voting or by writing proposals, the alignment conservers, the ADCs, the ADs, the facilitators, and we want it is been. I mean, the proposal is to add the guardians are actors that fulfill an equivalent role. You have the claim decision process. So this is payout is contingent on a MKR vote, and the proposal is the payout of a claim is subject to the approval of the resolution technical committee at their sole and absolute discretion, and further contingent on an on MKR vote endorsing payment of the claim. I don't know if any wants to add something about this since involves the claim decision process. Yes, so Palk is typing. Okay, the next modification, let's say, so it says it adds geographical coverage is worldwide, effective date, a beneficiary's eligibility for coverage under will start after ratification of MIP 106, the effective date, and expire 24 months after cessation of the roles as beneficiary. Base of coverage, claims made. This means that the lost event must occur after the effective date. The facts and circumstances that originated the lost event may have occurred in the past for a maximum period of up to 24 months before the date representing the letter of effective date and the date the beneficiary is first eligible for coverage under this artifact. So this is called the retroactivity period. Okay, so Paul says, would including active MKR holders as beneficiaries of the insurance funding be recognizing that the DAO is an unincorporated association? I'm not sure. And Jack's answer is that in dispute. Perhaps not all MKR holders are part of it, though, but it seems very reasonable to make coverage very wide. And okay, so the coverage of two time periods, if loss event occurs from 27 uh, May 2023 to 24 months after cessation of the role as a beneficiary, and the retroactivity period, which is a loss event that occurred in the past from a maximum period up to 24 months before 27 March 2023 or 24 months before the date the beneficiary is first eligible for coverage. Okay, so Publica comment on this. Given the varied statutes of limitations across different jurisdictions worldwide, how does the defined 24-month coverage period for the resilience fund accommodate these discrepancies? Could there be potential legal situations where a former MakerDAO participant might need support beyond this set period due to different statutes or limitations? So he brought this question, this doubt, and we would like to know what is your insight in this. Okay, so Paul's going to ask directly to layer zeros. Yes. So I'm going to share as well the link because of course this is the post in the forum. Okay, so there it goes. And we can see that there's also an active participation and from Monopolica, and this is one of the questions. So we would like to know more about this. And something that they also add, it's layer services. In the opinion of the insurance expert, it is necessary to have a temporal limit for the retroactivity period. An indefinite retroactivity period would put the fund's long-term sustainability at risk, enabling claims against the fund at any point in the future. We need reasonable coverage limits and exclusions in place, as this will make it easier to bring insurers on board in the future and maintain capital efficiency for the fund. However, a self-insurance fund is a flexible instrument. If governance considers this retroactivity clause should be changed. It can be changed, and Gallagher can analyze what impact this change can have on the risk model. So our question is: do you think 2 years of retroactive coverage is enough? Is it too much? Is it not enough? Of course, in this context. So we're putting the question there. Okay, I see that they're typing on the chat. Let's move on to the next part. And don't worry, I'm going to go back to the chat as well to read um any questions or actually insights about this. Okay. And then we have the claim processes, which is what is it now, which is the application, the approval, the registration, and then the proposal will be more detailed proof of eligibility, which is POE, process of each beneficiary type, approval. POE rely on a governance decision ratified by an executive vote, claim management process, caps and exclusions, caps and exclusions, and refund of amounts to the resilience fund. And then the caps and exclusion for eligibility, which is this would be subject to an aggregate cap for all claims in relation to a claim event determined by the risk models elaborated by the Resilience Technical Committee. It can be only used to reimburse beneficiaries for their reasonable legal expenses and disbursements directly arising from a claim event, and must not be used to reimburse the payment of government or regulatory fines or damages awarded by the court. Okay, so we are quoting Bona Publica. Given that the resilience fund is intended to cover reasonable legal expenses arising from a claim event, I would like to better understand how regional cost discrepancies are accounted for. As you may know, the cost of legal defense can be widely between jurisdictions. Therefore, without explicit provisions to account for this variability, beneficiaries in regions with higher legal costs may potentially be disadvantaged. So, how does the Resilience Technical Committee factor in these regional differences when determining the caps for each claim event and reviewing reimburses claims? Will you propose a mechanism to ensure equitable access to the fund for all beneficiaries, regardless of their location and the typical legal costs in the region? So the response is this phrase, reasonable expenses, is commonly used to avoid writing ban checks for beneficiaries' legal team. It is not intended to be region specific. It acknowledges that litigation can be reasonable but still costly when compared between countries and even between cities. To complement this approach and set out the factors that committee should consider, a litigation policy is set out in 10.1.1.4.5 litigation defense management. Those principles were designed to ensure that the resilience funds are spent wisely in whichever country a beneficiary is involved in a claim. So, with Bonapublica's question and Layer Zero's reply, do you think this expression, this phrase, reasonable expenses, should be clarified? Actually, we have also mentioned, yeah, I think in every call that we aim is to be the most clear and the opposite of ambiguous in every scope. So of course for us it should be. And we have the litigation defense management, beneficiaries and their legal teams in the conduct of the litigation and as a condition of receiving reimbursement from the residence fund. Act honestly, consistently, and fairly in handling claims and litigation. Make acts of success and deal with claims promptly. Keep costs to a minimum and avoid reliance out on technical defenses which have low probability of success, and consider alternative dispute resolution options at all times. Okay, so this is the update on consult requirements for the lawyer registry. So lawyers to be included in the lawyer registry must satisfy the following criteria: licensed legal professionals in their respective jurisdiction, proven experience with MakerDAO, with crypto or emergency technologies, no conflicts of interest in the matter over which they have carriage. Lawyers must have internal processes to conduct conflict checks prior to any engagement under this artifact, which also we have mentioned in the previous slides. 20 years of relevant legal experience, including demonstrable experience in the relevant area of law, type of process, and jurisdiction in which they have been included on the lawyer registry. And in relation to lawyers included on the lawyer registry for litigious categories, they have been lead counsel in at least 15 cases in the relevant area of law, type of process, and jurisdiction for which they are listed, or in relation to no litigious matters, having demonstrated experience in the relevant area of law, type of process, and jurisdiction. So we quote Navigator. We worry that the detail around the lawyer registry is too bureaucratic. It is really necessary for lawyers to need to show they have been lead counsel in 15 cases in the relevant area of law, particularly given that the nature of a case against a potential maker governance participant could easily end up as a novel case or a novel procedure. Is the concern here that the residence fund will be squandered on mediocre lawyers? If so, there is likely a more efficient or elegant solution. So their sales reply, it's the intention is not to fill the registry with mediocre firms that somehow fulfill the formal requirements, but to find the best firms and consults in the world. We think this is realistic. In our experience, any consul is honored to work on a project with top reputation, goodwill, and security standards in the industry. Makers should handpick these professionals, not vice versa. So, are you more on the navigator side, or do you agree with Layer Zero? What do you think of these requirements? And the component 10, which is the guardian, who is a specialized ecosystem actor, they will be exclusively mandated to retain counsel to assist with legal defense of actors in the maker ecosystem, that due to their organizational structure circumstances may be unable to obtain legal representation when person or defense claims against adversary parties. So the guardian, um, in the context of the guardian, Pedro says, after the last governance request for retaining legal counsel, where community raised a lot of concerns regarding the onboarding process, we introduced a proposal for a process in under cases. So there are two questions. Do you intend this guardian to be able to emergency respond to legal action against MakerDAO? Would it be also fine to include some wording for urgent cases? Don't you think? And well, Learser's reply is yes, indeed, the guardian should be able to respond to legal action against MakerDAO or other unincorporated ecosystem entities by engaging specialized counsel on a very short note. It would be especially specifically designed for the purpose. Your proposal is extremely valuable now, and the emergency protocol could be used in the interim while governance decides how to proceed. The SOPs are designed and the entities are structured. So, according to this, do you think an emergency protocol is needed in this transition period? So that's when it comes to layer series proposal. So we have already mentioned what we found most relevant in the whole post. Again, for us, it was necessary to point out this since it has a lot of details. There has even templates and it's very complete. So yes, any comments on this art you can also um ask directly to layer zeros. And our last topic for today's call, of course, we had to mention runes and cookies amendments to proposal. It's going live today. So we're going to start with runes. So this proposal involves, of course, making an amendment, and it's stated that this proposal, of course, is going live today. The amendments pertains to the branding of the subDAO that it's known as two. So establishing Spark as a predetermined brand for subDAO two. The main objective, the main goal of this proposal is to formally establish the brand name Spark for the subDAO currently known as two. So this means that subDAO two will be referred now as to Spark. The This is going to be the predetermined brand identity. Um, Also, this includes incubating subDAO brands. So, out of the 6 incubating subDAOs mentioned, 5 do not currently have established brand, and are referred to code names, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these subDAOs are um, categorized as facilitator DAOs. Um, and that it goes through uh, 0 and 1, and then we have the allocator DAOs 3, 4, and 5. So one incubating allocator DAO that is a Spark, um, and this brand name will be officially used for this particular subDAO. Um, so in this proposal, they're also mentioning about the promotion of Spark's community development. So it mentions that Spark is going to have a standalone communication channels that are going to be managed by the support facilitators and their infrastructure. So this implies that this Spark subDAO will have dedicated communication platforms to support and foster its communication development efforts. So to sum up this part, this is in order to establish the brand name Spark for the subDAO 2. Um, okay, and then we have also the Clocky's MIP amendments to proposal, which is a quarter to support advisory council proposals going live. And we actually, well, we have mentioned caucus proposals in, I think, all our previous calls. So we decided to mention as well in order just because it's going live today. I don't know, we have cookies here. If you want to add something related to this, you can do it now. And okay, let me go back to the comments now, to the chat. Synchrotron says if contributors plan on participating for the foreseeable future, the 2-year limitation should not be something a committed contributor should be worrying about. Agree with that. The Kyle Davis recent news is a good case study for the different jurisdictions and how we can view future related issues. And yes, as Pedro says, could you please share the link of these in order for us to get more involved into this information? Oh, there it is. Perfect. Mm, okay. If there are no comments on any of the topics that we are currently mentioned, I mean, you can share with us your insights, ideas to add, proposal, suggestions for improvements. Remember that we welcome all feedback. And we, as every call, we're going to share our draft. We have our proposals there. So here it is. And in here, we are going to add also the DAO toolkits features that we are suggesting, proposing. Next week, we have the protocol scope. It's going to be as the previous call, so it's going to be Thursday. This time as well, the time is always the same. And as always, if you appreciate our work, don't forget to delegate to one of our 80s. And we'll see you next week, Thursday. That will be all for today. Thank you for coming. Thank you for participating. And that will be all. Bye bye, everyone.